Hello and welcome to another episode of Claire Here. I am coming to you dressed as Miss Princess Aisha from Andros. So today's episode, we're going to get right into it. We're going to be talking about episode 1, verse 12. You guys turn in your books at home. This episode really sunk with me because I just realized when it was released. The episode was released during 2004. 2004 is actually when I got my first relaxer. So stay tuned. All right, let's get right into it. So the episode, because of copyright, I'm just going to describe it to you with pictures and dramatics. So basically, there is a competition, and it's called Miss Magix. As the episode, it's on YouTube, so you can go view it for your own viewing pleasure. It's called Miss Magix, and basically the competition was to get Stella to be in the main position so she can win, so they can do something, you know, the sisters, the antagonists for the series, but so they can get Aisha out. Mind you, Aisha, I don't believe Aisha was part of the Winx Club yet at this point. So this is our first introduction to her, kind of like, they're kind of like doing a soft launch of her into the show. So it's also pivotal that we know that that's how they kind of introduced her. And I'm just like, oh my God. But basically they wanted to get her out of the competition. So their, I guess, punishment of choice was to make her have natural hair. Now, you already know I am a big pusher for natural hair, and it was just the fact that a couple of things that I had a problem with was, one was the fact that, you know, Miss Bloom definitely went and touched her hair with no permission. Also, number two, the way Stella yelled in the episode and was just like, "What's that?" All right. And then when she ran off with her legs, she kind of ran off like a bow-legged, you know, kind of ran off afterwards. No one went after her. No one was like, let me try to comfort her. It was just kind of like, I know what that feels like to be by yourself, where you're just like, I'm going through this, you know, stage where I'm just like, I'm not really confident in my hair yet. And yet, no one came to comfort her. No one was like, oh my God, da, da, da. It's just, I just thought there was a stark contrast with how, you know, with Stella, she has blonde hair, blue eyes. She has her hair in like a straight and silky, and they compared it to golden silk being spun on a thread in the episode. And then with her hair, they're like, what was that? And then, you know, Bloom touched it. And I mean, I know it was out of curiosity, but I definitely had, you know, a couple of choice words for how it was filmed. And then my next point is that this could have been a teachable moment. I felt like they could have, I mean, you know, I know it's like it's a 20-minute episode. I don't know what type of lesson I'm trying to get these kids to learn at that time, but I definitely thought it could have been a teachable moment. I felt like they could have been like, okay, well, you know, no, it's not straight or wavy like they usually have her hair, but let's use this as a teachable moment. Let's try to see if we can, you know, show that there's beauty in all forms of our hair that takes place. And, you know, for the most part, you know, for my ride or dies, my supporters, I don't say followers because I'm not leaving you anywhere. You know, I always have my I always have my natural hair out, but you know, I'm just trying something different for a little bit, giving my hair a little bit of a break. But I love my natural hair. So, you know, growing up seeing this episode, you know, that will also, you know, steamroll me into my next point. My next point is the fact that this episode, think about it. Think about this, because people were, you know, ready to get it canceled and all this. Was think about when this episode was released. This episode was released exactly in 2004. I'm not sure, because I know the show premiered in January 28th, because this is episode 12. If we do the math right, it should probably have premiered probably May 2004. You know what else was May 2004? That's when I got my first relaxer. So during this time, the push for relaxers, the push for straight hair was very strong. It is like, that's why, like, whenever I see so much support for natural hair, it's just so, like, it's riveting. Like, it's like, I feel like it's electrifying, you know, like, I'm just like, I'm so glad that that's here now. Because in 2004, there was no support for that. Like, it was just like, if you had natural hair, they probably thought you were African or you couldn't afford to get a relaxer, you know, because with me being the child of two immigrants, like, people were just like, oh, well, she's Haitian, that's why she can't get a relaxer, she's probably broke, you know. And I'm just like, I could be broke, but it's just, my mom was just such a big pusher for don't get a relaxer, don't get a relaxer, don't get a relaxer. Your hair is fine. We could find some other hairstyles, but no, I was like, Mom, as soon as you deem me old enough to have it, then then I'll have relaxer. And we did, and I regretted it, of course, instantly. I was like, this is so thin. Like, I don't think why. I said it's as thin as paper, loose leaf. We call it a wide rule, college rule. Like, it was really, really paper thin. And I was like, oh my God. But you got to think of the time frame that it was released in. It was released in 2004. 2004, all we had was pink lotion or pink, either it was like a baby shower. Either you had pink lotion or you had blue magic, and that was it. And my mom actually used Dax. I don't even know if you guys know about it, but my parents used Dax. My mom used Dax on my hair. So that's what I ended up using. But it was just not a time for that. It was just not a time for people to promote having natural hair. It's 2004, and like, of course, I saw all the, I did my research. I noticed that people were trying to get the actual show pulled from the air and trying to get it canceled, have Nickelodeon cancel the show. And like I said, like, I don't know about you guys, but I thank you guys for answering in the poll. But I was a Sailor Moon girl. So once Sailor Moon went off the air officially, because it was running a syndication for a very long time. But once it went out the air, I was like, I need my fix. Okay, I need my fix. I need something to replace. I need my fix. Like, I need something to replace it, to take place of some girl group or whatever transforming this. I need my fix. So Winx Club was that fix. And honestly, there are some episodes that I could have said that, they could have pulled. They didn't have to premiere. But I also thought it was a teachable moment, because you got to think about how these cartoons age. 2004, 2022. It's kind of like how they age. So it was just kind of like, I feel like the episode was definitely, they could have used it as a teachable moment. But the level of sensitivity towards ethnic backgrounds and their phenotypes didn't really exist in 2004. You're not going to sit here and try to tell me they should have known better, but they didn't. So I don't really believe in taking the show off the air, but I definitely know that the episode definitely stuck with me. And the thing was, like, when it premiered, like, when she was running off, I felt that, like, internally I wanted to run away. Like, you got to understand, like, I went to an all-black middle school. So for me, I was the only person rocking natural hair. Because even my fellow Haitians that went there, they I don't know how to say it in English, but they had a press. Like, their hair wasn't a relaxer, but it was at least pressed out. But me, I had the full on natural hair, full on, I was still wearing the bobos or whatever, still wearing that I was still wearing that in middle school, so it's just kind of like, I felt like during that episode, I felt for Aisha so much. And I just felt like this is my final thought on the matter, is the fact that representation. And I know some people sit there like, oh, well, I voted. Nah, we ain't talking about that. We talking about representation. I wish I guys could show you guys how cute this dress is. But representation. If there is no representation, there is no reason for someone to engage in something. So for example, the increase in the fact that more and more people are wearing their natural hair out, it's because there's representation. Like, I'm seeing commercials like Dior, Chanel, Gucci, and the model has natural hair. And I'm just like, oh my God, but like, it's 2022 though, like, I just felt like it took a while for it to become where, like, okay, it's okay to be your natural self. And the thing about it is just like, the thing about natural hair that has always intrigued me is the fact that natural hair go natural hair. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but natural hair is going to natural hair. Like, natural hair don't care about your job interview. They don't care about your wedding. They don't care about you're going out somewhere. Natural hair is going to natural hair. Like, one of the main reasons, which I can probably put a whole video out as well, that's gonna be upcoming, but one of the main reasons why I stopped getting relaxer is just that my natural hair, like, you over here sit there, you get your relaxer, I promise you 3 weeks later, it start waving at the root. I'm like, oh my God, you don't care, do you? Like, I'm just like, it doesn't care. It is always there. It will always be there. Like, it is part of the melanin package. Okay, it's part of our premium melanin package. The hair comes with it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's going to natural hair. Okay, that's the best way I can describe it. It's going to still natural hair. Like, that's the one thing that I was just like, what is the point of getting a relaxer when in 3 weeks she's gonna be waving to me again? I'm gonna let that sit for a little bit. But in 3 weeks, she's gonna be waving to me again. So I'm just like, forget this. I might as well just stay natural and find other ways to either straighten it or find other ways to, you know, wear it out more. But I was like, she's going to natural hair. So I stopped fighting against her and I am working with her now. Okay, she's her own person. Hey girl, she's her own person. But I just something about the fact that, like, I'm watching the episode, and this is my final thoughts. I'm watching the episode. I'm just like, they could have made her, they could have jinxed her and have her where she speaks backwards or something, or they could have like tied her shoes, but they said no. We got the perfect weapon. We're gonna give her an afro, a type 4C afro. Dun dun dun. Like, that's not punishment. That is a blessing. Type 4 is a blessing. It is the strongest and most fragile hair type out there. And there's nothing like it. Everybody can straighten their hair, but they can't foresee it. I'm gonna let that sit too. But I'm just saying, like, something about that just didn't sit right with me. But I'm also an adult now. In 2004, I was a teenager. Don't do that math too quick. But I was a teenager in 2004. So I'm sitting here, I'm just like, this makes sense. That is the worst thing that could possibly happen, because Aisha's hair is naturally like wavy and long. So for her to get the punishment of having natural hair, I could see that in 2004. But in 2022, I'm glad we have made moves. You know, we're still running. The marathon continues, but it's just the fact that this episode didn't sit right with me. But if you disagree, if you agree, definitely hit me up in the comments so we can talk about it. But don't forget to subscribe, share. It's Claire Haire.